We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. Yeah, this is Everton Blender. It's all about the young police from Jamaica, seeing Young Police Channel. Big up yourself, Everton Blender said that. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. Blessed love, Rastafari.
Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel. To our loyal viewers and subscribers, at the channel we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizens, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. That is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives on this channel. We at this channel aid criminals, their financiers, their supporters, enablers, and the likes with a passion, and we do not want them over here. Yes, let us repeat ourselves. We do not want any criminal supporters over here. Please, we do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you, the criminal supporters, enablers, financiers, and all the likes, to go to prison or madness. Let's repeat myself. We are the Jamaica Young Police Channel. We do not want the criminal supporters and their circle over here. We want you to go to prison or madness. Moving on to our video.
Yes. Those of you who are pro-Jamaicans and are even from the Caribbean, remember in the 1998, yeah man, when Jamaica had reached World Cup, yeah man, see, that's one of the biggest heroes, yeah man, Ian Pepe Goodison from Cockburn Pen, Clinton Avenue. I know the Goodison's family very well, and below Pepe, that is brother Bongo. So those of you who are on YouTube celebrating murderers, people who rob and kill people like Dirty Bongo Q, ask Pepe this, if his brothers killers are generals. Yes, they rob and kill Pepe's brother Bongo. His brother cut up his body in pieces and scatter it all over the Florida Everglades in the early 1990s. I don't remember the exact year, but I remember the day of the funeral. I remember when hearing the news of him being killed by his childhood friends, people that he thought that they were his friends, and they killed him. And before they killed him, the man who killed him moved his entire family who were neighbors to Pepe. Ask Pepe if those men who killed his brother, if they are generals, or if he had forgiven them. To all of you depraved, criminal-minded Jamaicans who supposed to be living in pigsty like hogs. Jamaica reggae boy footballer Ian Pepe Goodison's brother, who does I call him name, him alias name, everybody know him name Bongo, robbed and killed by childhood friends. Some people tell you a different story, but we're just telling you from what the information that we had received as a detective. I was at Unsby. Ask Pepe the day when Pepe brother was, there about for bury his brother. One of Pepe's cousin, asked Admiral Bailey, Josewell and all those men. One of his cousin came from England and was wanted by Unsby police for shooting. And I knew him very well. I knew him before I was a cop. And I held on to him. Almost 1,000 people was there. Ask them. And guess what? I can tell you. Ask Admiral Bailey and Josewell. They knew me before I was a cop. They knew me from I was a little boy. At times visiting Uri with my father. Because Uri is originally from Jonestown, and it's because of the same people from the community that we are from that were like parasite to this man. He had to flee Jonestown and seek refuge in a labor right community from the same people that he was born and raised within. Yes, in Jonestown. Every time the man travel, it's like he was their piggy bank. And the more he give them is the more they wanted. And the more he give them is the more they threaten his life. He used to live at Settima Street, along Settima Street, close to the post office. And Uri just relocate and become a labourite. Uri, yes, the man that died. Uri was originally a PMP, and PMP turned Uri into labourite because they were like parasite to him in Jonestown. I'm telling you that. So the day when Pepe, brother Bongo, as I said before, was about to lay him rest in Dovecots, I held on to the cousin. And you know, as usual, people, it's a funeral. And I can tell you, Admiral Bailey and Josie Whale, yes, I was the one that was leading the team then. And they came to me. You know, when people address me by the first name, these are people that knew me before I was a cop. And them come to me and say, Chris, you don't know I'm cousin funeral and him come from foreign. Why, we never know say him wanted and we beg you. Let's make him come. And Josie Whale said to me, say, Chris, look for me. At the funeral, me bring him come and once come give you. Alright, my boss. That's all me ask him. Me never ask if you nothing yet. And me know you from your little boy. Admiral Bailey, the same thing. And that was it. Say, alright. Them left, we got a Bongo funeral and returned him and came back. That's a respect that these people had for me and I had for them. They knew me before I was a cop. They knew me from when I was a little boy. Yes, because we are from Jonestown. And my father and Uri were friends. So I used to visit him even when I was a little youth. So that's why men like these, they knew me. Admiral Bailey, Josie Whale, Puran, an Indian, bad man with him dead, them kill him. So that's why I can tell you that I have seen it. I can tell you this, and I can say this without any apologies. I can tell you, at no time in my career I have ever heard Admiral Bailey or Josie Whale supported anyone for kill another person in St. Andrew South or anywhere. I can tell you. So it's not every artist involved in crime. These are two artists that I know for a fact in Unspear Police here, apart from with Josie Whale. You hear about things about his past, but I am telling you, not about years, but I'm talking about facts. So moving on. So in the vibrant art of Jamaica, where the rhythms of reggae play alongside the pulse of daily life, the Goodison family was once a portrait of unity, success and dreams realized. Ian Pepe Goodison, a proud reggae boy footballer whose skill and dedication earned him a place in the hearts of many, had a life that mirrored the hopes of so many young Jamaicans. But behind his successes and the fame that followed him on the field, there was tragedy. One that would change his life forever. It was that day that would mark the turning point in Pepe's world. His brother, yes man, Michael Bongo Goodison, a man known for his charm, his smile, and his loyalty, was robbed and murdered by people he considered close, like family, like brothers, people he had known since childhood. People who, in the tender days of youth, had shared dreams with him, laughed with him, and created memories that were meant to last a lifetime. They weren't strangers, nor were they faceless enemies lurking in the shadows. No, these were individual Bongo, trusted men who had shared the same streets, the same community, and the same sense of belonging. And that fateful day, Bongo's innocence was betrayed in the cruelest of ways. What was meant to be a routine meeting turned into a nightmare when he stood among those he thought of as his friends. His life was taken away. The betrayal was deep, and the shock was even deeper. Bongo's killers didn't come from afar. They came from within. Their betrayal ripping through the fabric of his life like a knife. The moment was not just about a robbery. It was an execution that carried out by men who knew the inner workings of his soul. Men who knew his weaknesses, his fears, and his dreams. In the wake of his loss, the question that lingered in the air unanswered and yet so deeply felt was simple. How could those he trusted most betray him in such a brutal way? Now, the question must be asked. Ask Ian Pepe Goodison if he believes that his brother killers are heroes. It's a question that weighs heavily on the heart of a man who has carried every burden of loss. And this is a man who, after, even in spite of the killing of his brother, he still had to carry the mantle of being the head, of carrying Jamaica on his shoulder. It's a question that weighs heavily on the heart of a man who had carried every burden of loss. A man whose life has been shaped by the beautiful game, but whose world has been irrecoverably altered by the callousness of betrayal. What does it mean to be a hero in a place where loyalty is supposed to mean everything, and where honor, brotherhood, and respect should be the cornerstone of every friendship or any friendship? For Pepe, the answer is clear. Heroes don't take the lives of those they call friends. Heroes don't rob their loved ones of their futures. They don't betray trust for personal gain. True heroes, the one who stand tall in the face of adversity, don't destroy lives for selfish desires. Ian Pepe Goodison, through his own heartache and pain, know this truth all too well. His brother, Bongo, was not just another man in the streets of Jamaica. He was a family. He was family. And the bond of family is so sacred, a truth that has been violated in the most tragic and unforgivable way. This isn't a story about football glory or fame. It's about the deeper, darker realities that so many face in the shadows of their communities, where trust is often broken and loyalty is sometimes fragile. It's about the betrayal of a brother, a man who thought he was safe among friends, but found out too late that trust is a currency far more valuable than the lives of those who hold it. So when you ask Pepe Goodison if he believes his brother killers are hero, the question is more than just a reflection of one man's pain. It is a question about between right and wrong. Can sometimes seem so blurred for Ian and for many others who have been touched by betrayal. The answer will never change. No, they are not heroes. They are not anything close to what we should aspire to be. They are reminders of the darkness that lurks in places where trust should flourish, and darkness that has cost a family dearly. Bongo's death is not a tragic loss. It's a warning to us all about the fragility of loyalty, the cost of betrayal, and the deep scars left behind when the very people we trust are the ones who wounds us at the moment. Ask Ian Pepe Goodison if he believes his brother's killers are heroes. The answer is grounded in sorrow, wisdom, and the painful reality of loss is one that echoes louder than any football match ever could. Ask Pepe Goodison if his brother's killers are generals. It was a time when the sun-drenched streets of Kingston were alive with the sounds of hope, dreams, and possibility. Yet behind the surface, shadows lurked, and the bonds of brotherhood and friendships were often tested by forces more dangerous than most could imagine. For Ian Pepe Goodison, a man whose skill on the football field earned him national recognition, the weight of loss was too heavy to ignore. In the early 1990s, his world was shattered in a way that no one should ever have to experience. His brother, a man named Michael Bongo Goodison, was robbed and murdered in the most brutal fashion by many he thought were his closest friends. But it wasn't just a robbery gone on. This was a calculated betrayal. The same thing as Dirty Bongo Q was done. As he heard him, it was an inside job. Robbery and murder. A cold and merciless act that left the Goodison family reeling. Bongo's killers did not stop at taking his life. They desecrated his memory in the most horrific way possible. They didn't simply take Bongo's life. They scattered his body across the desolate Florida Everglades, cutting him into pieces and discarding him like a piece of trash. Yes, you heard me. That's how they treated him. That's why we tell you that some of you people are supposed to be living amongst pigs in hog-sty. The depths of the cruelty displayed in this act were beyond comprehension. It was a betrayal that turned the very idea of friendship into something unrecognizable. The people Bongo had trusted, people he had grown up with, people who had shared his dreams, had torn his life apart. And in the process, they destroyed the Goodison family peace forever. And then came the question that echoed in the minds of everyone who heard the story. Ask Pepe Goodison if his brother's killers are generals. If these are men who decide who deserve to be put on a pedestal, these men who took his brother's life, dismember his brother, and tossed him into unforgiving wilderness, were they generals in the world of crime, worthy of respect and fear, were they worthy of admiration for their brutality they committed, or were they something much worse? The title of general is often reserved for those who command respect, who lead with authority, and who strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. But what kind of generals are these? What kind of generals are these men? Men who desecrated, dismembered the man's brother's body and threw it in a wilderness, unforgiving and evil. They are generals of nothing but destruction. Their legacy is one of betrayal, violence, and hollowing out the lives that they had no right to destroy. True generals, men who lead with honor, courage, and strength, do not leave behind a trail of human wreckage like this. These men, if they could be called anything, are the epitome of betrayal, willing to kill, dismember, and discard a life for selfish reasons. Now the question that weighs heavily on the heart of those who know Pepe and know the Goodison family is whether he could ever find it in his heart to forgive these men. Can one forgive such an atrocity? Can one forgive the men who not only took away a brother, but who also violate the very fabric of human decency? The people who know Pepe well understand the depths of his heart. They know his resilience, his strength, and his unwavering dedication to those he loved. But they also know that the pain of losing a brother, especially in such a brutal, heartless manner, is something that never fully heals. For Pepe, the loss of Bongo is not just a tragic event, it's a scar that will remain with him forever. And while forgiveness is a powerful thing, it's not always possible when the offense is so severe, so grotesque. When the very people you trusted betray you in the worst way imaginable, how does one begin to find peace? So I ask Pepe, do you think he has forgiven these men who took his brother's life, cut him apart and scattered him across the Everglades? Can forgiveness extend to those who commit such an act of violence and cruelty? Yes. Or is there a line that even the most loving hearts cannot cross? The Goodison family, most of whom now live in England, carry the weight of this tragedy in a way that outsiders can never truly understand. They had to cope with the loss of Bongo, but they have also had to live with the knowledge that the men responsible for his death are still out there, walking free and punished. This is a family that has lived through the unimaginable. Yet, they have preserved. But the question of forgiveness, the question of whether Pepe can ever forgive the men who took his brother's life remain unanswered. Forgiveness is a personal journey. And for Ian Pepe Goodison, it may be a path that takes him years to walk, if it's even possible at all. Some wounds are too deep to ever fully heal, and some betrayal are too profound to ever truly forgive. But one thing is certain, no matter what, Bongo's legacy lives on in the heart of those who loved him. He will never be forgotten, and the pain of his loss will never fade completely. So I ask Pepe, do you forgive the men who killed your brother? Do you call them generals worthy of respect? Do they worthy of respect? Or do you, like many others, see them as what they truly are? Cowards, betrayers, murderers, robbers, forever condemned by their actions they took on the fateful day in the Everglades. The answer is not simple, nor should it be. It's a question that asks not only about forgiveness, but the price of loyalty, the cost of betrayal, and the depth of a brother's love. I, Chris Porter, could never forgive anyone who took the life of one of my loved ones. Never, not even a friend. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You took my eye, I took yours. All of us stay blind. You don't want to lose your eye, so don't take mine. Why should I forgive you for taking my brother's life? I could not, in all good conscience. So those of you who are on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter talking about what about that he has done his time, ask Pepe if that pain of losing his brother, Michael Bongo Goodison, if that pain is still there or if it's real or it disappeared. Ask him if he forgive the men, his childhood friends of his brother, forgive them of killing his brother and desecrated his body and scattered all over the Florida Everglades in bags for alligators to eat him after they had killed him. Killing him wasn't enough for them. They want to send a statement to show how brutal and evil they were. And you people who support Dirty Bongo Q, a man who rob and kill a human being in New York just because you don't know the victim and another man that he had killed in Jamaica. So now we are putting a face to someone who has lost a brother, to this story. And we want you to defend the killers of Michael Bongo Goodison and tell us that he's a general, that these men are generals and they deserve all praises and supposed to be emulated by our youth. Your people are like pigs, should be living in hogsties. Your worst level of human corpse walking around with life, but your corpse dead to the harsh reality of decency, ethics, humanity, truthfulness, and a conscience. I pray that before this month ends, that the same debt merchants that visited Michael Bongo Goodison visited all of your families before Christmas, and then you come here and tell us how you feel, because you'll get zero sympathy, zero empathy, because we don't serve sympathy coffee, sympathy tea, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or supper. All we serve over here is the real, harsh, cold truth. No sympathy. And we want to express our deepest condolences to Ian Pepe Goodison. We know that it's almost 30 years, if not 30 years or more, or close to 30 years. Our deepest condolences to you and the Goodison family. Have yourself a beautiful day. And to all dirty bungle and corros and corrobunkers, please don't come over here. We don't want you over here. We are the only channel we say we don't want your views, likes, or subscription. Dirty bungle, no shame. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.